We're joined today by musician Kim McAuliffe. She is the singer, guitarist, and founder for the band Girlschool. Girlschool has a new album out. It's called WTF 45, as it's the 45th anniversary of the band. Kim, how's it going today?
Oh, hello. Oh, cheers. Is it you, Juston, are you? Hello?
Yep, that's me.
Oh, jolly good. Oh, well, nice to meet you.
Well, it's been 45 years since the founding of Girlschool. First of all, does it seem like it's been 45 years to you?
Oh, blimey, I know. It's just, well, it's mad. That's where the title comes from, really, because we just used to go around going, what the fuck, basically. Where's that go? And so that's, yeah, and then we just suddenly thought, oh, hang on a minute, that's quite a good title for the album. Because, no, it seems ridiculous, really. I can't believe I'm even saying it. There you go.
Well, you mentioned the new album, WTF 45. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new album? What are we in for this time around?
Well, yeah, it's just, pretty much sort of a bit of heavy metal rock and roll, really. It's 12 songs that we just sort of, have written over the years. Because we can't, I think with time with Girlschool, we don't seem to have any sort of concept of time, really. So that's like when people say it's been 45 years, it's pretty unbelievable because it just, obviously doesn't seem like it. I mean, when the record company said, look, you owe us an album, it's been 8 years since the last one. We couldn't believe it. We thought it was only about 4 or 5 years even. I know it's still a long time, but there's no way it was 8 years, And so, yeah. But then, of course, the COVID thing happened, so that knocked a couple of years out. And, of course, in that time, we knew that we were having to record an album at some point, so we started to get together some ideas. And then, obviously, one day the record company put their foot down and said, look, it's about time, because we kept putting it off, So they said, no, this is it, you've got to do it now. So booked the studio, and there we go. There we are. We finally did it. I think we needed a good kick up the backside, basically, to get us going. And so it all sort of came together pretty quickly in the end. Awesome.
Yeah. As you mentioned, 8 years since the last album, Guilty as Sin.
Yeah.
How was that for you to get back into the studio? Obviously, a lot has changed in the last 45 years as far as recording goes.
Well, again, we're quite lucky as a band because I know a lot of bands can't actually do the studio thing anymore. A lot of it's remotely done and stuff like that. But we're lucky that we can still all get physically into a studio together. So that hasn't changed much. We've never done it remotely. We've always been in the studio. I mean, obviously, with all this digital stuff, you don't have to kick the desk anymore to get it going or whatever. And I can't get my head around it sometimes with this digital bit because I'm used to seeing the big tape and everything, and
sure.
In the old days, and used to love all that. But it's you have to go with the times, don't you? I suppose.
Well, Kim, I got to say, at first listen, a lot of the new album really sounds heavier, I think, than past albums. It's obvious you guys haven't gotten mellower here after 45 years.
No. I mean, we did want this one to be, because we didn't know it was possible. It could be our last one. Who knows? So we wanted to go out with a bang, and and just make it one of our heaviest ones.
Well, I know you've got a lot of cool people joining you for the new album. I saw a Duff McKagan and Biff from Saxon. I mean, you got a lot of rock gods in your Rolodex.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was quite a shock. Well, Duff was a shock to us. We haven't actually ever met him. But what happened was we decided to cover Born to Raise Hell because we just thought it'd be a good one to go out on the album, And of course, our good mate Phil, who we've known for donkey's years, he was up for doing it because at least he's actually playing on a song that he played on originally, as opposed to playing Eddie's stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, he was up for it, and then I suddenly thought, well, it'd be nice to actually do a duet. I've never actually done a duet with anybody before. A duet does sound a bit odd, doesn't it? It makes you think of, I don't know, things like Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers or whatever. But anyway, so we asked Biff, who obviously we've known for about 45 years as well. So yeah, he was up for it. And then a friend of mine who knows Duff really well, he said, because we were talking about we'd never really had anybody guest on bass before. So he said, oh, I know Duff really well. I know that he was a great mate of Lemmy's and he loves Girlschool. He goes, do you want me to ask him for you? And I went, oh, don't be silly, thing. And he went, no, I'll ask him, see what he says. And the next day, he sends an email back saying whatever they need. So That was brilliant. Yeah, we were quite shocked. And really nice bloke. I mean, it was so funny. Then he sent another email saying, "Oh, well, do you mind if I record it in a couple of weeks or so? Because I'm on tour in New Zealand and Australia at the moment." So we thought, oh, God, what a lovely bloke, as if we're going to go, no, you have to do it right this minute. But it was really good of him. So, yeah, we're really, really over the moon, chuffed.
You mentioned the Motorhead cover, and I know that was a band that came up around the same time as you guys. Can you talk a bit about your memories of collaborating with them? Because that was kind of unheard of at that time, and maybe even still today.
Well, basically what happened was we had our own band. Obviously, Girlschool, we were just touring on our own. Sort of had a beaten up old van and just off we'd go, with our sleeping bags and the gear in the back and just all piling on top of that at night and starving and all the rest of it, but we were young, so we didn't care. We were just having a good time. And it was around the punk era. So, of course, we played punk clubs and they think we were heavy metal, and we played heavy metal clubs and they think we were punk. So we were sort of getting nowhere fast, really. But, we weren't giving up. And then a friend of ours who had his own sort of independent record company, because that's what you could do then. You could do anything in those days, he just had a single out with our Good Mates UK Subs, and he asked us if we wanted to record a single. So, of course, we jumped at the chance. I mean, that's every band's dream, isn't it, of going in the studio. Whereas us thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to be all this glamorous thing and, whatever. There we were in this dark, dingy basement for 4 hours in the middle of Soho, that we knocked out, Take It All Away. And as we came up the stairs, there was John Peel standing there, who was obviously a big deal at the time, and started chatting to him. And he played our single on his show. And next thing we know, we'd got a phone call saying Lemmy, from this band Motorhead, who we'd only vaguely heard of, were just about to do their first major British tour, and we're looking for a support band. And so Lemmy came down to rehearsal, and that really was it. That was that. Next thing we know, we were on tour. And playing the, big gigs and everything. And finally, we sort of found our niche, because Motorhead were very much in the same boat as us, they had the punk influence. And so, yeah, that's how it all started.
Awesome. Do you think playing with Motorhead and kind of getting Lemmy's stamp of approval, did that kind of help maybe cement your legitimacy amongst maybe the more macho metal fans at that time?
Yeah, I think we still would have been, we would have gone perhaps another way, because we were getting a lot of attention ourselves anyway. But obviously that did bring us into, as I said again, that gave us a bit of an identity. And of course, because Lemmy accepted us, then of course that meant we were okay. So, lovely Lemmy. He was such a lovely bloke. One night we were just about to go on stage, and he was hanging around a bit longer than normal. We used to hang out together. They used to bring us in crates of beer, because obviously we didn't have any money, whatever. And he was sort of hanging around, and we were thinking, this is strange. He's normally gone by now, because we're just about to go on stage. Anyway, he finally went. So, of course, I opened my guitar case to get my guitar out. I screamed my head off. I thought there was a human hand in there. It was half a pig's head. So we'd only known him about a week. So, as you can imagine, yeah. That was sort of like, throwing us into the deep end. And I never forget our roadie at the time. He picked it up in a towel and he knocked on their dressing room door. He said, "I think this belongs to you." Yeah, buggers.
Yeah, talk about being in the deep end. I know when you started out, Girlschool really kind of an anomaly. Now there are so many all-female metal, hard rock bands. That's got to be cool for you, knowing that you guys really kind of paved the way for that scene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we first had our big success in the early 80s, we were thought, oh, well, there's going to be loads of girls coming up now, loads of girl bands and everything. We just expected it to happen, but it didn't happen. We kept thinking, this is strange, there didn't seem to be any. So, and it wasn't until I suppose even 20 years ago now that it's just started happening. And even in the last 10 years, I think it's really started happening. So I don't know where they all were then, but there certainly didn't seem to be very many of them then. So that was quite strange, really.
Well, Kim, can you talk a bit about your relationship with Denise DeFort? I mean, you two have been there for the entire tenure of the band. You guys have really been through it all. I'm imagining you guys are like sisters now.
Oh, yeah. We've known each other, since day one. Well, in fact, I knew her before Girlschool because she used to come along to see our band, Painted Lady, that was the covers band we were in before we, went with Girlschool. Well, took it seriously and became Girlschool. And so we've known each other about 46, 47 years now. And, of course, we're best mates. Yeah, we are like sisters. She's actually, because we've all moved now, like Jackie's the lead guitarist has gone back to Leeds. I've moved up just outside of London in a place called Colchester, near Colchester. And she's literally just down the road in my other half's house. So, not with him, obviously by herself. So we're never very far away from each other.
Awesome. Well, again, the new album is out. Will you guys be on the road at all for this new one? Could we see you maybe come to the States?
Well, we're hoping to. There's talk of us coming in November just for a short burst.
Okay.
But then I know we're definitely coming in March because we're doing that Hell's Heroes Festival in March. I think that's down in Texas. So there'll be a tour around that time, definitely. But we're hoping to get there by the end of the year. There's talk of that. So we're just waiting. And then I think we're doing another British tour because, of course, we did the British tour at the beginning of the year. Going to do more touring next year, which seems a bit strange because obviously the album's out now. But anyway, never too late, I suppose.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. You used to have to play shows to sell albums, and now you kind of went to sell albums to play shows. It's kind of gone back and forth over the years since you've been on the road.
Yeah, it is a bit different. Certainly is now. But, a lot of it is all, digital, whatever. You haven't got the excitement anymore of getting the physical albums, going to a shop and buying it. Although some people still can. There are still record shops out there, but very few and far between, considering to what it used to be like when I was little. Anyway, yeah.
Well, Kim, I know the album is just out. Is there anything else maybe coming up that we should be watching out for?
Well, no. Basically, it only came out Friday, so we're waiting to see what the sales figures are like to see if it hits any sort of charts or positions, whatever, by the weekend. So that's sort of quite exciting stuff. So at the moment, we're just promoting it, and we've just done a couple of big festivals. And as I say, possibly America. Got some more festivals coming up before the end of the year. And then, of course, it'll be lots of stuff next year to promote it. Of course, it'll then be 46 years. So there you go.
Wonderful. Kim, again, it's been an honor speaking with you. I'm a huge fan, and the new album sounds great. And thank you so much for your time.
Well, thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.
And again, that was the one and only Kim McAuliffe from Girlschool. And the new Girlschool album, WTF 45, is out now.